Okay, well, thanks, Amelia, for having us again. And just a couple of quick questions on this weekend and the week ahead. So, to start off, after Derby humiliation by City, can Man United bounce back with a win at Everton, or are the Toffees serious value at 4-1?
Well, it's very hard to say how Manchester United will react to a severe humiliation at home to Manchester City, which no one expected, including me. But Ferguson didn't pick the right team. He left Hernandez on the bench and Jones on the bench and replaced him with Evans and Welbeck. Evans didn't play well. He was at fault for the first goal. He could have closed Balotelli down, and then he was red carded early in the second half. So I would, you would normally expect Manchester United to bounce back very strong. They are champions. They've got a champions mentality. And historically, they have a good record at Everton. But in the last three seasons, they haven't won there. So I think it's a tough match for United. Everton are on a roll. I wouldn't have a bet on that match. I think it's a match to watch and just to see how United respond to what, it was a big blow last week. City are 5 points ahead of them in the Premier League now. So United can't afford to lose too many more matches. So it's a match to watch rather than to bet on.
Okay. And a few years ago, Arsenal had edge on Chelsea. Do you fear for Arsenal now going to Stamford Bridge, or is 5-1 an extraordinary price for the Gunners?
No, I think Chelsea will win that match. I think they're the best bet of the weekend, and they're a good price because Arsenal and Chelsea. It's a derby game in London, and Arsenal have won a few games, but not particularly convincingly. So I think Chelsea will beat them. I think they'll beat them comfortably. I think that's one of the bets of the weekend.
Great. And Man City hammered Wolves in the Carling Cup midweek with a totally changed side that defeated Man United. Are Mick McCarthy's side Wolves to the slaughter at Eastlands?
I think Wolves will be beaten. They're having a bad run. The pressure's on Mick McCarthy. City will be super confident after the midweek match, and they'll be super confident after beating United. They have so much attacking weaponry to deploy that I would expect City to win that and win it very comfortably.
And as their win at Old Trafford last week catapulted them to a 6-5 favourites for outright Premier League glory now, would you back them at that price, or is now the time to pile on Fergie's men at 2-1 with some bookies?
Well, if I was having a bet on the Premier League outcome, I think the 6-5 Manchester City is a better bet than the 2-1 Manchester United. I'd be very inclined to back City. Having said that, they've never won the Premier League. The pressure comes on in the spring, in March, April, when the big games are decided. So a 5-point lead can melt away. This time last year, for example, Chelsea were 5 points clear in the Premier League, and Manchester United won it in the end. So they haven't got an unassailable lead, but it's a significant lead, and there aren't many teams that can beat them, and that's United's biggest problem. They missed an opportunity. They're going to have to win, I think, the return fixture away to Manchester City, and that's quite a task. So at the moment, I wouldn't back Manchester United 2-1 to win the league.
Okay. And then Spurs have started this season strongly. Have they the quality to continue and mount a serious challenge for a Champions League place?
Yeah, I think Spurs will be challenging for a top 4 place, probably with Liverpool. There's a gap opening up between the lesser sides in the Premier League, and you can see it in the scorelines actually, and the top clubs, the clubs with money. And Harry Redknapp's a good coach. And this weekend they play QPR at White Hart Lane. I think they'll beat QPR, and they're going to be serious contenders for a Champions League place without ever threatening Chelsea, Manchester United or Manchester City.
And then Newcastle travel to Stoke on Monday night. Is this the match that will finally inflict a first Premier League defeat of the campaign on Alan Pardew's side?
Yeah, Newcastle have been a real surprise because they've sold Andy Carroll for 35 million. They sold Enrique to Liverpool, a very good left back. I thought rather cheaply for 10 million, but and they haven't bought real quality, but they've done very well. They're unbeaten, as you say. I think Stoke is a very difficult place to go, and it's a real acid test for Newcastle. If they have the resilience to withstand the kind of pressure Stoke put on all visiting teams, it would be impressive. I'd be inclined to have a bet in that match, and I'd be inclined to back Stoke.
Okay. And then just to finish then, what would be your biggest your three biggest bankers for the weekend then ahead?
I say Chelsea and Spurs would be a very strong double. That's a double. And if it comes up, then Monday night I'd back Stoke. You probably get a very good price. You will get a good price. Now, sitting in on Monday night, I'd have a bet on Stoke to do Newcastle, inflict their first defeat of the season. And we won't talk about last week's bet.
Great. Thanks a million again for having us, and we'll see you next week.
Okay.